And welcome back for another episode of Beyond the Forecast, episode 18, Kevin. We just keep chugging along here.
Flying by.
Which is fine. You know, I mean, it's fun. Every week we talk about something different. I know this week we had a little bit of severe weather, so maybe we'll throw in some Storm Prediction Center stuff at some point over the coming weeks. But what have you been up to this week? We've kind of started this tradition, so we got to keep it going, I think.
Currently moving.
Okay.
So that's been dominating my time, and like I work and then I keep moving, so it's just been a week. Like, today's my Friday. I'm ready to sleep, but I'm still not done moving, so I'm just a little spent, to be honest with you.
When do you think you'll be done? Is it close
today or
okay.
tomorrow?
Okay.
Like it probably. Yeah, I mean I have to be done by Monday, so
Okay.
and I'm hoping to be done obviously by Friday, so I don't have to think about it all weekend.
All weekend, yeah.
I want to go home on Sunday too. So
Well, it's not too bad then, right? I mean, you're almost there.
right.
And then once you're moved in, you'll feel better about it.
then what am I going to do with myself? Like it's amazing.
You'll sleep with your extra time.
Probably will. How about you?
I had some family in town last weekend, so it was a nice weekend. I was off late last week. I had some dental work done, and then Friday was just kind of waiting for them to come. And they came Friday. We kind of just chatted, talked and everything. Had some dinner. Of course, I'm trying to eat a little bit better, and the first thing out of their mouth was, "Let's order some pizza."
Yeah, you can cheat. It's a cheat day.
They're trying to eat better too. So, but it's one of those things where you know what? It's
Pizza's
a weekend.
easy.
You got family in town. You can kind of let it up a little bit.
Get a pizza and get like a good like.
Oh, we got stuffed crust.
Yeah, no, you gotta go all out.
And then we had like cinnamon bites.
Fixings on it.
So good. They were so good. Then we've got.
You didn't mention that at first. That changes the calculus.
Those were so good.
Yeah, I know.
Those were so good. Then my aunts came into town on Saturday, and we just kind of had a game day Saturday. It was a cold day, so we just kind of
cold day at the end of March.
Yeah, and then. What was it? Oh, Sunday, my aunts left. My mom and grandma just kind of stuck around. We kind of just watched some movies all day, and then we went to dinner with Cap. So that was pretty nice.
How's
so
Steve?
Good,
Yeah.
good. Definitely doing a lot better. So I'm actually going to be helping him co-host his show starting next week. So that'll be kind of fun. You'll see me on 2 of these shows now. But I love pets, so I'm glad I'll be able to help him out with that. So. And I think he's excited. He's even said as far as, we could talk a little bit about weather during it and things like that. So maybe you'll see him as a special guest on this show sometime.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
We're gonna push him for it. We're gonna push him for it, but we'll see. He's becoming a busy guy. He's got a lot of stuff planned over the next couple of months. A lot of events and adoption clinics and things like that. So keeping himself busy, which is good. We love to see it. All right, let's talk about what we're talking about this week. I almost forgot what we're doing here. We're going to first talk about what happened in March. Just kind of do a quick little recap there. We'll look at what a normal, quote unquote, April will bring us, what it typically brings us, what to expect this April. That's from the Climate Prediction Center. And then we'll look towards perhaps even warmer days moving in, Kevin. I know we've been talking about a lot of days in the 70s, which has been pretty nice lately. We're going to be talking about, maybe when our first 80-degree day might be. Also, did you look at any of the data for like what last April brought? No. It's okay if you didn't. I'll bring it up over here so we can kind of compare that to normals and stuff. So I always like to do that.
That is always a good one.
As
like
a little comparison.
Last 5 or...
Yeah, even just last year.
Yeah.
But, so the month of March, here's the recap. I'll let you kind of discuss the nitty-gritty stuff with the calendars, but
sure.
Just kind of the highlights. The warmest temperature, 76, March 10th. We came close to it this week too, 73, I think.
Yeah, Monday.
On Monday, that was a very nice day with all that sunshine.
I loved it.
Do you remember the coolest temperature? I guess we could have put coldest down.
I don't even have to look. I don't even have to look down, even though I just did. But I know it was on March 2nd.
Yeah, 6 degrees.
Yeah, I mean the month, as we'll show you in a moment, started the same way that
Yes.
January, February, December all went. So,
but it's funny. I mean, March is one of those months. I mean, look at that. The coolest temp, 6 degrees. Obviously, that was a morning low.
Yeah.
but 6 degrees and then 76. So a 70-degree temperature change.
Yeah. How about
in 8 days? In 8 days. That's the more crazy part.
I was looking into like the range of. Well, I'll hold off on this thought for the calendar, but the range of high temperatures and low temperatures. I'll hold that thought. But I do want to touch on. We started the month cold.
Yep.
Snowfall, a little lackluster once again in March. 3 inches.
Yeah, 3 inches.
9 below normal.
9 inches below. I mean, I'm okay with that. At this point of the year, when we start seeing the warmer days, it's like, okay, I'm over winter. You know, I don't want to see it anymore. If we hadn't had those warmer days,
maybe
I might not have felt too bad about it. But now I'm like, all right, goodbye.
My thing is we're probably not going to get to the seasonal normal for snow.
No,
it's
no.
crazy.
At this point, it's funny. It looked so good.
It
looked so good
without being over.
Yeah. Total precip for the month: melted snow and rain, 3.9 inches. So a little bit wetter than average. Some of that came in from yesterday.
Calendars. I'll wait for the calendar.
Okay. Which, 3.9 inches, not too bad. I know a lot of folks are saying, it's nice to kind of get some of this wet weather now. Yeah. With the exception or with the expectation that we may start to dry things out late spring, early summer type of a thing. So kind of get that surplus now before we start to see that dry weather.
I wouldn't mind a Rex block in September.
And I know a lot of folks too, like this time of year, farmers want to start getting out in the fields just to kind of plow the land. It gets tough if it's too wet. I do know that for a fact. So they'd rather have it a little bit drier in the spring to be able to work the fields. But a little bit above average, I don't think that's too bad. This is it's not like we were talking about 8 inches of rain or anything.
This is definitely doable.
Yes.
And one more comment I'll make, because I made this little update this morning. The mean temperature for the month, 3 degrees above normal. We'll show you on the calendar in a second, but over half of the days ended up below normal for high temperatures.
This is significant too, not to cut you off, Kevin, because this is the first month out of what,
above.
three or 4 months in a row?
At least November, but possibly October.
I'll look at that while you're looking at the next graphic. But.
So the thing about this 3 degree departure in the average temperature is that it rose, the departure, and for that matter, the average temperature rose by almost a full degree on the last day of the month because it was so warm. And now, Rob, I don't know if you can click for me to the next graphic. I probably could on the iPad, but I don't really.
It's all right. I don't want you to stress yourself.
I don't want to find out the hard way. I'll just jump right to my last point.
What was I just? Hang on.
Last month above average.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, March 31st, aka 2 days ago, when you're seeing this on WTEN Plus, 71 degrees was the high temperature, but the low temperature was 55. And that kind of I wanted to get on the previous point of the range of temperatures through the month. 6 degrees was a low temperature, and so was 55. I mean, that is March in a nutshell.
Yes.
High temperature March 2nd was 27, and 8 days later, as Rob pointed out, 76.
That's insane to me. I mean, I know it happens.
Yeah, it definitely
I'm multitasking here. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to get some details, some information. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the temperature spread, but that just goes to show it's early spring, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can get the same thing in the fall. So before we go any further, yes, October was the last month that we were above average. We were only above by a degree. November, December, January, and February, all below average. 2.5 to 4.7 degrees below average.
Was it this October? Was it this Halloween that was ridiculously warm, or was that last Halloween? It might have been last.
Might have been last. We were 53 this year.
Okay, yeah. The year before, I think it was like a record. Anyways, with regards to the
79,
March,
almost 80.
There it is. With regards to the March temperatures, started off cold, then we really busted out of like what felt like a perma chill. For all of the meteorological winter, lingered in the first week of March, but then we really busted out of that a big way. We didn't just get above average; we broke 2 records. I couldn't color code them to be both yellow and red. I thought about doing something, but I was like, it's fine. I think we know what the warmest is.
It's funny though too because it was that week there where I was like,
all right, we're done.
Yeah, I'm done with winter.
Yep. And then it came back. By that Friday. Didn't get out of the 30s. Same with that Saturday. We warmed up a bit in the middle of the month, and then right back down. And really this last month, we got back into the consistently warm conditions outside of Saturday, which That just goes to show you, like, you get those cold shots.
There was a
they're
lot
so
of ups and
short.
downs.
They're so short at this point.
This time of year, yes. And same thing, I mean, you go back to, December or January, you get a warm-up, usually short-lived, and that's kind of how it is in March. The cool downs become shorter and shorter and less intense. Look at the second, 27 degrees.
I just realized we didn't highlight the coldest of the month, which would have been March 2nd.
Yeah,
so pretend
as
there's
I just mentioned it.
pretend there's a little turquoise line over the little 2 there on the calendar. So
let's talk about the precip, Kevin, because I know this was another thing that it may come as a surprise. I mean, looking at this, it was a wet month.
You mentioned it though that really it was Tuesday that pushed us over the edge. I mean, it was really Tuesday night. We got it in at the last second.
Yeah, and that was the biggest one-day rain event.
Yeah, but that we've probably had in a while.
Yeah.
To be honest, maybe that winter storm that dropped a foot. That probably had more liquid.
Yeah, or at least pretty close.
Yeah,
pretty close.
But that was a wet day. It was really a wet night.
Yeah,
thunder, lightning, some strong storms to our south and west.
It was fun. I turned everything off in the house. I was watching the lightning.
I told my roommate to turn off the music so we could hear the thunder. He's a meteorologist as well, Luke, at the National Weather Service. So we both were just like, "This is great."
I didn't turn any music off. We just had nothing on in the house. It was dark. We're just sitting in the living room, and I was like, "Ooh, that was a good one."
It's funny. I'm like a little tired today. I'll admit I stayed up so I could listen to the thunderstorm. It was before Luke even went into work, so we were up for different reasons. But to that point, it was really that final day. I mean, we finished 0.81 above normal, and we got 1.07 yesterday. So you subtract the difference, was at 0.26. And the daily average is probably like 0.13.
We would have been pretty close
really
to
close
average
without yesterday.
Yeah.
And one other thing I'll point out before we keep going here. There was only 7 days this entire month that were precip free. Now there's a lot of like teas on there that's trace basically a raindrop.
Maybe a sprinkle or a few flurries or something,
A lot of like 0.02s, 0.01s, but still like it felt like every time we had to do a forecast, we were like, okay, but there's also the slight chance of a...
Yeah, you always were trying to look for that one day, like, okay, which one looks the driest?
And that was even Monday, which was so nice. We were like, in the evening, though, there could be some sprinkle. It didn't happen in Albany, but it did happen in a few places, so... And guidance was definitely showing it in a few places. So.
Now, we've closed the book on March.
Yes.
That means something good. Oh, I didn't add that on there, but we already kind of talked about the snowfall departure. Sorry, I just hit the button again. I didn't realize there was a. But we already kind of talked about that.
We did. I mean, I'm still sad. I thought we'd get to average at least.
The cold air becomes less and less, and I'm sure this is going to put a smile on a lot of folks' faces. Now, this is usually the final cold day of the year, so. The earliest...
Cold is arbitrary.
Okay, well, we're talking about high temperatures less than 32 degrees, or equal to 32. Looking at the top part of this, Kevin, I was like, I don't know how to say that. So
think of it, the way I described it, because I was kind of struggling too, the way I best described it was, when's the last day that the temperature fails to rise above freezing?
Okay, there you go. So our average, you could see all the climate sites, Albany, Glens Falls, Bennington, and Pittsfield, all are in March. So now that we've closed the book on March, in theory, and based on how things look, we shouldn't see high temperatures less than 32 anymore. But
it's happened.
It has happened, and you got that on the right-hand side here. Albany, the end of April. That's surprising to me.
The thing about the Albany record and it being the latest out of the four sites, I think it was the only year. I think in 1919, Albany was the only one taking observations.
Okay.
There's a little gap in Glens Falls, and Pittsfield and Bennington are newer. So,
okay, that's fair.
So that's the thing about that. I know Albany looks like it was so late in the season, but it just shows to show you that like you get the perfect setup late April. It's feasible.
It can happen. Yeah. We've seen snow in May.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, it can happen. And that's why we say, we get a couple warm days in there. Do not rush to plant anything. I did that a couple years ago. I didn't plant anything, but I went to the stores and I bought plants. And then for 2 weeks, it was gray and rainy and miserable and cool. And I was like, well, good thing I got the greenhouse. They survived.
Yeah.
But it was miserable. So that's why we say don't rush. It's usually May, June around here that you don't really want to be putting things in the ground. Some years you can go a little earlier. Just kind of depends on how things are going. So, Kevin, unless you have anything else, I think we're going to go to break before we come back.
Imagine in 1931, for example, it's February 12th, and you're told, hey, we're going to get above freezing every day for the rest of winter.
But it doesn't mean that the lows were not below freezing.
Oh, of course not.
But
we're going to have that relief every single day.
Yes.
I would have enjoyed hearing that this winter.
Me too. Except, this year was, much later. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about what April normally looks like for us, what we're expecting this year. And I did pull up the information for last April, so we'll talk about that as well. Don't go away. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. So, Kevin, if I had to tell you, or if you had to explain to people without showing a graphic, without getting into too many details, what does April normally look like for us? I think what would be the shortest answer you could give?
You're just ditching winter.
Okay.
You're just ditching it. I mean, I can explain it with the graph of my exact rationale for that. I know the average temperatures. Like today, for example, April 1st, we're recording. It's the only day this month where the average low temperature is below freezing. So we're going to be back to 32 or above, until what? October, November for the average low. So it's going to be a while.
Here's the graphics Kevin's talking about. Our average high today, when we're recording this, is 52. Average high by April 15th, 59. That's a quick jump. And look at by the end of the month, 66.
Just mentioning it's like basically a degree every other day.
It seems that way. And even the overnight lows, we gained 12 degrees for the month. We gained an hour and 17 minutes of daylight. I'm sure you're already starting to see a lot of that. In the morning and at night. It didn't take long for the morning sunrises to kind of catch back up after the time change, right?
I've noticed I've had to, I set up my own camera in the morning, and it's, the first hit now requires a little bit of adjusting. So
it's fun. I love April. I love this time. I don't like the April showers, but it's funny. I did do a story on that when I worked in Elmira.
Yeah.
And April, I forget what it comes down to be. It's not one of our wettest months.
No, it's not.
So I'm not sure.
Summertime, right?
We're just over 3 inches of rain for an average April. I think July is our wettest month, over 4 inches of rain. Thunderstorms.
With the thunderstorms, tropical moisture. I mean, there's just so many more opportunities for huge rains. So it's funny
that we garnered that saying.
Yeah. I guess because it's not snowflakes anymore.
True. And I can't remember. If I could find that story, I'd listen to it. You put this speaking of April showers. Go ahead, Kevin. Take it away.
3.11, which, if I'm not mistaken, is very close to the March normal. Like almost the same.
Yes.
Now, there's one less day in April, so you're getting a little bit more each day, a minuscule amount each day. But maybe this is a surprise. We still average at least some snowfall in April. Now, usually it's
we do in May too.
Usually it's like all or nothing for April. Usually you get like nothing, or you get 4-inch snowfall. So it averages out to 1.6, and if we don't get that, I'm still in shock. I'm sorry. Like, we're not going to get to the normal seasonal snowfall. I mean, I will discuss the forecast for April, but it's not looking good for seasonal normal.
Not.
It's so close, but I don't know if we're going to get pushed over the edge.
Because looks like temperatures are leading close to normal this month. Right. And there's no below normal. I think this is the first month that they've issued an outlook like this with no areas of below normal. What this says to me, though, I do worry still. Speaking of later this week and even today, backdoor cold fronts, there's still a lot of cold air in Canada. If you've been looking at the temperature maps, I showed one yesterday, Tuesday afternoon, and the temperature is just north of the border, 20s and 30s, even in the teens. So, there is still a lot of cold air banked up there The ocean is still very cold.
Yes.
It wouldn't take much for a wind shift.
No.
So
not the east
I
flow.
but I think that's why they're thinking more close to average. We'll have warm days,
Of course.
but I think some cooler days will also be mixed in there as well. So, or days like the day that we're recording this, it may start out warm and then we kind of cool during the day because the front comes through.
I'm actually just so sad thinking about East Flow in the spring. It's just such a letdown.
not
Like
fun.
you have all these nice warm days, some sunshine,
And then all of a sudden, bam.
you're like, "What is that?
Cloudy, drizzle, cold.
What are we doing here?"
Cloudy,
Ocean.
drizzle, cold.
That's so selfish of the ocean to do that to us.
Here's what they're expecting for precip. Pretty much close to average. No big signals for any major rain or snow events here in the Northeast. Even where they've got the above, that's a slight lean towards above.
Right.
Below out west, which they could use the rain, and still below in the southeast, they could also use the rain there. So
the West really needs rain.
and I know there's drought conditions in Florida too. So I think they could go for some rain, but they usually make up for it in the summer when they start getting the
daily thunderstorms.
Exactly. I would love to live there for the thunderstorms.
Denver's still setting record highs, by the way. Like I know that's a topic from the past 2 weeks, and we talked about how they demolished records. Well, look, they literally just set a new all-time March temperature record towards the end of the month. What's going on in the West this winter is just incredible, and there's still going to be
it's
dry.
almost like the same that we had here. It's just the exact opposite.
There's still going to be dry, and there's still going to be warm out
We
there.
weren't breaking cold records, but this was a cold, active winter.
Yeah.
But as they always say, you're going to have almost an equal and opposite reaction somewhere else, So while they were baking, Alaska was seeing some of their coldest March weather that they've seen. Antarctica just had their coldest temperature. What did I post last week? 107 degrees below zero or something like that? That is ridiculous.
That is not.
That is obnoxious.
That almost sounds fake. It's incredible.
Right. And that's not even wind chill. All right, looking ahead to the first hot day of the year. Earliest average and last day with high temperature of greater than or equal to 80 degrees.
Basically, like, what's the feasible range of getting 80 for the first time? When I was presenting this on Monday, I was saying focus in on the average first because that's like when it usually happens around. So
now, do we remember when we had it last year? Looks like maybe April, actually.
Yeah, probably.
It looks like it was pretty close to normal. April 29th.
Wow, that's very close to normal.
We had 84 degrees, April 29th.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, late April, early May, depending on exactly where you are. I think it's interesting. Shorter period of record. Bennington has kind of the lead up by a day over Albany, but it's still, it's a little bit before, it's like a week before Pittsfield, which has a slightly longer period of record. But there are a lot of setups where Bennington likes to be sneaky warm.
Yes,
So,
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
I have noticed that here. And then Pittsfield, it's almost like it's like a little bowl there or something.
Yeah,
that
Berkshire
they're
County.
always slightly colder, yeah.
but think about this. 2016, March 9th, it was 80 plus. That is crazy because, I mean, this year was, I think the day after that we hit 76. Like this year, that was our record-breaking temperature. But just imagine like a week after being in the 20s, you're 80. Like, what?
I know we were almost there.
Yeah, we were really
were
close.
almost there. Just for comparison's sake, before we go to break here, last April, the warmest day was 84 degrees on the 29th. The coldest temperature, just kind of glancing at this, I'm going to look at the low temperatures, was 25
Wow.
on April 9th. That day was 11 degrees below average.
Yeah.
That was actually the day before was the coldest day of the month at 12 degrees below average. There was a trace of snow that day. We had 0.9 inches of snow last year in April.
First week, right? Think I went out in the mobile storm track.
We had 0.6 on the 7th, and then we had 0.3 on the 12th.
Wow.
And there were traces throughout the month as well, through the middle of the month. The average high was 60. The average low was 38.1. So when you put it together, 49.1. That was 1 degree above average. So pretty close to average April last year. And precip, we had 3.82.
A little above.
Yeah, about 0.7 above average. So that's what we had last year. Now we have to just wait what we're going to have this year.
I'll leave you on this thought. Imagine not hitting 80 until mid-June.
No.
It's crazy. Now, Matt and I were like, wow, that's incredible. We were like, was it really cold? We looked at it. No, they were just in the 60s and 70s for like 2 months straight. It was great. It actually looked wonderful.
That was like West Coast weather almost.
But they didn't hit 80 until mid-June. Huh.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's
kind of interesting.
I don't mind an 80-degree day sprinkled in once in a while, though. But we'll leave you with that. When we come back, we're going to talk about what we're going to be looking at next week. Some exciting things happening here beyond the forecast. Don't go away. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Kevin, you got anything that you're looking forward to the week ahead? I know you're moving, so I'm sure you're probably looking forward to that being done.
Yes, I'm looking forward to just like unpacking everything and looking at it and being like, this is the new home. And
you got to put things where they go. And
the TV, it was shout out roommate for putting that up yesterday because he really grabbed the bull by the horns for that.
You got to set up a party. No.
I mean, you know what I do on Friday nights? Sleep.
Yeah, wow.
I have Saturday morning weather.
You can always take a day off.
What about you?
I don't think I really have much to look forward to, or much that I am looking for. That sounded really bad.
Doing anything for
Easter? I think I'm going over to a friend's house. They invited Eric and I. We're going to probably go and have some wine and some steak. So I'm looking forward to steak on Easter.
Yummy. I would love if my family did steak on Easter.
I don't think I've ever had steak on Easter.
Whenever
Usually
I host Easter, they're going to do steak. That sounds great.
Right?
Yeah, and folks, if you don't see me Monday morning with Matt, I probably went home for Easter real quick. So
nothing wrong with that. You got to be here in the afternoon because next week we start the show with. Well, I start the show with Cap. We need you for the noon. Next week, some fun things on Beyond the Forecast. We're going to have a special guest. Now, we have not had a guest on this show. Obviously, we did when Allison started, so you guys can kind of get to know her. But we have a special guest coming from the Dudley Observatory. We're going to be discussing Dark Sky Week, which I've got a lot of questions about that because I'm not totally sure exactly what that is. She did send me some information on it, but of course, we're probably going to learn a lot more about what that is and what they're hoping to accomplish with this.
We're going to learn together.
And why it's so important. She was kind of explaining in some of her emails on why dark skies at night are very important. So, of course, we'll go in for a deeper dive on that. Not sure if we'll have much time to talk about much else next week, but if something big happens, we will squeeze it in. But next week should be a fun week, so hopefully we'll tune in for that discussion. And as always, if you have a comment or weather question, or you have weather video or pictures, you can always email it to us. Our email addresses are right there at the bottom of your screen. We would love to share them on this show. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. And maybe after talking about the night sky, maybe we'll get some pictures.
Let's do it.
We had some lightning pictures from last night. Those were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys have a great week. Have a happy Easter if you celebrate. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here next week on Beyond the Forecast. Have a good one.